Hello everybody at YouTube, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of the lessons at the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT. In this particular live stream video today, I am simply grading speaking practice tests submitted from my students over the last 24 hours, and I will also be answering questions here in the live chat option of this video. So if anyone has questions, so why am I doing this? Not a lot of people know about my online course. As you know, there are many online courses on the internet, and one way for me to indirectly advertise is to interact with students at YouTube. And then you guys will probably tell some of your friends, you say, hey, there's this guy live streaming at YouTube. He does TOEFL speaking practice. You can get some information from him, and that's my way of advertising. So I don't have to really pay any money to do this. So it's a very inexpensive, well, it's a free way for me to get more information about my course. That's kind of how it works, right? If I use Google to advertise, it costs thousands and thousands of dollars every year, and then it makes the cost of my course get really expensive. And then many of my international students will not be able to join my course. So I like to keep my advertising costs to zero. I do not advertise. That way I can keep everything inexpensive for my international students, all of whom are on tight budgets. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do some grading. Right, so I'm going to go to my VoxyPop group and take a look at some of the students who have completed their speaking practice over the last 24 hours. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, so my first student here is Ricardos. So I'm going to take a look at his speaking practice right here. Okay, let me talk to him for a quick second. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Ricardo, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT. Thank you for completing my independent speaking practice test number 1, and I'm going to go ahead and listen to and comment on your practice test right now. Alright, so first of all, let's take a look at what this question is. So the question is, describe a place you visited as a child. What is your favorite memory visiting that place? So give me a quick second here. Let's take a look at it. Okay, so your question here is, describe a place you visited as a child. What is your favorite memory while visiting this place? Alright? Alright, let's see how you did with this question.
A place that I remember it when I was in Margarita Island during a vacation. Margarita Island is a tropical island situated.
Let me go back.
A place that I remember it when I was in Margarita Island during a vacation.
Okay, you remember visiting, I would say. And if you say a place I remember visiting was, right, or is, then you can talk about that, because that's kind of the question.
Margarita Island is a tropical island situated in the Caribbean, surrounded by the blue crystal water,
okay,
with a summer year-long weather.
Good. I like your description there. Let me see. There's a word I have a question about.
Water with a summer year-long weather.
That. Something you said in about 14 to 15 seconds. I'm not exactly sure what that was.
It has white sand beaches with coconut trees that you feel you are in a pirate movie. My best memory from that
you feel, I would say that I felt I was in a movie or something. So instead of using that you point of view, Ricardo, it's better to use the I, the me, the my, or maybe the he, she, or it point of view. So you might want to write this in your speaking journal for today, Ricardo. I think during the integrated and independent speaking and writing tasks on the TOEFL IBT exam, you really don't need to use that you point of view. All right, so make that note. Then as you're doing more speaking and writing practice, try to remember that. That's going to be important because that can help you avoid any possible what I call point of view shifts.
And when I was 6 years old, when my mom took me over there for a vacation.
Okay.
It was my first time on any beach. It was amazing for me. It was so huge and the water so salty. I played with the sun the entire day, and because of that, I got sunburned. And that was my favorite memory.
Nice. Wow. You actually answered both parts of the question. A lot of students don't answer it like that, but you looked at the question, describe a place, explain a favorite memory, two parts of the question. You described the place first, you talked about the favorite memory second. So I think overall, in terms of topic development, I think you did a pretty good job answering the question. So that is a good thing, right? Now what we want to do now is let's take a look at the rubrics here. So where is your score here? I think on this one I'm going to put you below the 3 range, particularly because of delivery issues. If you score in the 3 range, it says you have minor difficulties with pronunciation, intonation, or pacing. However, your overall intelligibility is not affected, but it was affected. There were some words in there that I could not understand what you were saying. So I think because of that, maybe some possible language use issues, I'm going to put you in the 2 range. I'm going to put you at about a 2.5 out of 4, 19 points out of 30. So where do we go from here? Okay, so my recommendation, I think, for you is you probably need to focus a lot right now on your delivery. That means specifically pronunciation. So you want to get more comfortable with the vowel and the consonant sounds of American English, right? So you can take a look in my website. You can go over to the pronunciation lessons. And if you haven't done it already, maybe you've already done this, but I recommend that you take my pronunciation pretest so that I can diagnose specific problems that you're having right now with your vowel and your consonant sounds. And I recommend specific lessons to help you get better. Then once you've done that, you can take the second pretest in my online TOEFL course. And once you've done that, my job there is to figure out what problems you're having with grammatical word ending, syllable division, also word stress, sentence rhythm, intonation, and thought groups and blending. So I think for you, I would spend at least 50% of your time right now focusing around speaking, and particularly pronunciation, really working hard on being more intelligible. I think that's going to be very important for you. But using my online course is not enough. I think also, Ricardo, I want you to each week watch movies in English. I think that's going to be a really good idea. Maybe watch 3 or 4 movies a week. Find opportunities as much as you can, I think, to get more exposure to the language. That will help you with your TOEFL speaking score for sure. All right? And I think that's important. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and upload my comments to Ricardos. So you guys just heard at YouTube what my comments are to him. So he does have a pretty good organization to his ideas. He understands how to answer the question, but his delivery issues and I think some language use issues are getting in the way. Okay, let me go ahead and send him some comments. And anybody watching right now at YouTube, welcome. I hope you like my YouTube channel. Think of it as an extension, I think, of what I do with my online course. So a lot of times I interact with my students who've joined my course. I interact with them a lot of times at YouTube. And they come over and they watch a lot of my videos. But more importantly, they go to my online TOEFL course and they're completing lessons in the pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, listening, reading, writing, and speaking lessons. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and upload my comments to him. And I move ahead to my next one. All right, let's keep going. Okay, I'm going to go to the next one here. So we have independent speaking practice right here. All right, so this is Ravender. Let's see what we have. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to listen to the practice test submitted by this particular student, and I will give her comments and upload them to YouTube. So you guys watching at YouTube, a lot of my students, they never meet me directly. I teach students from about 60 countries all around the world, and they do speaking and writing practice on a day-to-day basis. I give them feedback the day after they submit their practice test. So I can't really meet in real time with my students because all our time zones are all different. All right, so let me go ahead and talk to this student. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Ravender, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. How are you doing today? Now remember, if Voxypop is not working, and many times it is not, you can simply send me an email and I will listen and grade your speaking that way. So no problem. You can do it either way. And I'm going to go ahead and double check. So it's number 247, right? So let's see what specific topic you're answering here. So let me go to so number 247 we have your principal is trying to decide whether or not to completely ban cell phones in the classroom because of continuing issues teachers are having. Students are not paying attention and are continually on their cell phones. So what course of action or solution would you advise? Wow. Yeah, I've noticed this problem specifically at California State University where I teach, but I'm not terribly strict on that. If my students put good papers and write good papers, I'm okay with it. I don't have to have their 100% attention 100% of the time. All right, so let's listen and see how you answered this question.
Studying in a co-ed school really helps the student in understanding the behavior of the opposite gender which I believe is really very important to be successful in personal and professional life in the future.
So this is a different one other than the one I'm looking at, I'm guessing. Let me go look. Oh, I see it. So your daughter wants to attend. Maybe not. Okay, let me go back. So, oh, here it is. So some culture students are in. Oh, I see what I did. I wasn't looking at the right one. So in some cultures, students are in all women or all men classes, while in other cultures, women and men are in the same classes. Compare the advantages of both types of classrooms. Okay, so you're talking about the advantages of all women and all men classes, right? So, yeah, with this kind of practice test, you can probably only compare these two types of classrooms maybe in just one area. That's probably all you can do because it's a 45-second response, and you got to be super organized on this one, right? Okay, let's keep going. Let's go back so I know what you're doing now. Here we go.
Studying in a co-ed school really helps the student in understanding the behavior of the opposite gender, which I believe is really very important to be successful in personal and professional life in the future.
Okay, so it's important in personal and professional life. But remember, you're comparing studying in both of those
And
environments.
school provides a great environment where we can understand each other, and school gives us the chance to have a competitive spirit by making us interact with each other in a healthy environment. Whereas it has some disadvantages as well, as the students after their puberty get more interested in the
Be careful about that T and that D consonant sound, Ravender. Sometimes when you're speaking, you want to make sure you're pronouncing that T and D clearly. So top, dip, tip, dip.
opposite gender. So they really waste a lot of time in talking and spending time with each other than studying. So these are the advantage and disadvantage of studying in a co-ed school.
Okay, so the part of the problem here is you're kind of talking about the advantages of studying in mixed gender classes. You talked about an advantage of women and men classes. You talked about a disadvantage of it. So it's probably better to discuss the advantages of an all women, or talk about same-sex classes versus mixed sex, same gender classes versus mixed gender classes, right? That's probably how you needed to frame this speaking practice test, right? So I think that's a topic development issue that I'm pointing out here, right? All right, so let's take a look. So I think overall you're having some minor delivery issues, but you are speaking quickly, fluently. You have pretty good control of your vocabulary and your grammar, which is good. I'm going to say you probably could have organized it a little bit better. My understanding of your response is this. You talked about how you prefer the mixed gender class, and you gave an advantage and a disadvantage of that type of classroom. However, the speaking task was asking you to compare same gender versus mixed gender classrooms, right? And you should probably compare them in terms of how quickly or how slowly students can learn information. Maybe in the same gender class, you believe that students will not be able to understand the opposite sex behavior if they're studying in that kind of classroom. But then when you talk about the mixed gender class, you say this will be a better opportunity for these students to learn behaviors of their opposite sex counterparts, you might say. And that would have been a little bit more organized around the actual speaking task, right? So for you, I still think it was pretty good. I think you could probably score fairly high on it. I'm going to put you at about 2.83 out of 4, 22 points out of 30 on this particular practice test. All right? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and send my comments to this student. Yeah, and basically here, I'll show you guys kind of how it works at YouTube. So the student, she did her recording online, right? So I go online, I listen to her recording. And then what I'm doing is I will upload my recording kind of right next to hers. See if I can show you how it works here. Okay, here it is. Now sometimes this particular website, this is not my website, VoxyPop, and half the time it's not even working correctly, to be honest with you, but if it's not, the students simply email me their speaking practice. I listen to it that way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save my response, and it's uploading there, and then she gets my comments directly after her comments or her practice test. You'll see how it looks in a minute. Then once it's uploaded, she can have access to my comments as soon as they're uploaded. So she could be sleeping right now based on, and I just got up at 6 o'clock this morning, so who knows what time it is where she is, but whenever she's comfortable, she goes back to the website and she checks my comments. And it looks like this. When she goes back to the website, this is Independent Speaking Practice Test 247. This is a title she gave. Here are her comments here. Then here are my comments directly after. And that's kind of how it works. Okay, let's go to another one. Okay, this one's going to be more complicated. So this particular student completed a diagnostic practice test with vowel and consonant sounds. So I'm going to have to go into my website and let's see how this student's doing. Okay, let's go back, see what we have. Okay, so let's show you what I'm going to do here. Okay, and this is my online TOEFL course. So I'm actually going to go to the specific lesson that this student completed at my website. So I'm going to the pronunciation area here, where it says Step 2. pronunciation weaknesses, address your weaknesses here, and she goes to right here, the diagnostic pretest. That's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so give me a quick second. I need to find a pen and some notes. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm ready. So the first thing I need to do is I'm going to go ahead and have her, I'm going to listen to her recording, and she's going over specific words here, and she'll be answering some questions also. And all of these things are purposely designed to see, does she understand the sound spelling patterns of the different kinds of vowel and consonant sounds of American English, and can she pronounce those vowel and consonant sounds correctly? That's what I'm trying to figure out. And this is why I call this a diagnostic pretest for vowel and consonant sounds. Okay, here we go.
Okay, part A. What both from, grow, honor, over, father, do, pet, pot, map, mom, tech, talk, and.
Okay, so I can already tell she has a very strong non-native speaker accent. Right? So let's go to I want to make sure I can hear what she's doing here. Let me go back to the beginning here. Okay, sorry about all this. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
Okay, part A. What both from, grow, honor, over, father, do, pet, pot, map, mom, tech, talk, and on, make, more, bright brown, broad light, loud loyal, pie, pump, get, late, lad,
A lot of problems
mad,
with lesson number 9 and 10.
made, bled, blade, den, meet, patty, beat, lip, sit, heat, look, lock, tool, tough, good, cool, match, mess, chip, seep, feature, fisher, chapped, shaft, cheer, shear, off, half, hair, fine wine, fan, van, wafer, waver, how, habit, who, rehash, behavior, hate, Batman, beaten, important, brightening, headtrack, threaten, major, measure, fragile, frazier, lesson, lesion, engine, azure, large, Asia, kick, keg, sink, sag, game, cap, gap, leg, learn, rear, better, luggage, rugged, order, right, light, committed, pace, base, flap, cap, lab, pay, bay, lies, sip, sew, zoo, mess, maze, Aliza, multiple robot, example, pressure, principal, number, people, philosopher, volcanism, written, Maximum, question, summer, reason, charge, often, tip, tip, cart, card, tide, tide, train, drain, fat, fad, team, dream, thigh, die, breathe, breathe, teeth, teeth, through, door, worth, worthy.
Okay, so I've taken down some notes, so I have a pretty good idea of things that she needs to work on. So I'm going to go ahead and give her some comments now. That's partly what I have to do here, so give me a quick second here. And you guys watching at YouTube, it's very simple. I'm just kind of showcasing how my online TOEFL course works. That's why I'm doing this particular live stream video. If any of you are interested in joining my online TOEFL course, you can go over to my website at onlinetoeflcourse.com. You can learn more about how the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT works. And you can decide if you think it's a good fit for you and also your budget. That's kind of how it works. So let me go ahead and I need to now make a recording to her. So I'm going to talk to this specific student. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Patel, and I am Michael, the founder owner and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. So far, I have listened to part A of your pretest, and I'm getting ready to listen to part B in just a minute. Now for you, there are some lessons I think you want to focus on a little bit more than others. Now I recommend that you go through all the lessons in my online TOEFL course in the pronunciation section. But here's the ones you want to focus on more. I think lesson number 9 with the diphthongs of American English. The I, ow, oi. Lesson number 10 is very hard for you. The gate, get, late, let. You're also having trouble, very big trouble, with lesson number 11. So go through those lessons. Meet, mit, peat, pit. Lesson number 12, I think, is important for you. Lesson number 14, and particularly in lesson 14, it's that V, have, vine, van, waver. You're having a little bit of trouble pronouncing that V consonant sound. Also, lesson number 18, I think here it's the flap sound, like utter, better, utter, committed. Also, lesson number 19, particularly, I noticed this throughout your response, the P. The P consonant sound, you're not really pronouncing that sound with enough air, so that's definitely something that you can work on. For example, pace, base. And remember, when the P's at the end of the word, because it's a voiceless consonant, the vowels should be shorter. So you'll say like flap, flab, cap, cab, lap, lab. So you have to make sure when the B's at the end of the word, the vowel sound should be longer. Also, lesson number 23 and also lesson number 24. So those lessons, I think, are ones that you want to work on. And remember, at the end of each of those lessons, there is some speaking practice for you. You can do some pronunciation practice. Usually I have what's called voice recording number 1 and voice recording number 2. If you want to get some feedback on your pronunciation, you can certainly post that either at my Voxipop discussion group or you can email it to me. Now just remember my rule. You can post up to 60 seconds of speaking practice every 24 hours. The speaking practice could be pronunciation practice, or it could be a speaking practice test that you have completed, right? So now you're answering 3 specific questions. You're going to tell me a little bit more about yourself. So number 1, what is your educational background and your work history? Number 2, why is it important for you to improve your speaking and pronunciation abilities of American English? Number 3, what do you hope to achieve in this course? So you're answering these questions, which helps me understand more about you.
Okay, part B.
Then when you say okay, you say okay. I'm going to say okay. A. That vowel, need to make it longer. Okay.
Question 1. I'm a dentist in my country, India.
Okay.
I recently passed my national board exam
Okay.
here. I'm living in US from past 2 years, and
I would say I have been living there. That's a language use issue. I have been living in the U.S. for the past 2 years. That's probably the best way to say that.
I already given a TOEFL twice, and I got.
I would say I have already taken the TOEFL 2 times, not given. You don't give a TOEFL exam, you take a TOEFL exam, right? Now I know it's more complicated than that. And what it means is, Patel, in your language, there's not a big difference between the word give and take. So you're used to using give, but that's a language use issue. Now here's my question. Now, if you've been living in the United States for the last 2 years, what have you been doing, right? So I have a feeling that you're not speaking enough English. You need to speak more English, right? This is very, very important for you. Now, write this down in your speaking journal for today. I have a website I want you to go to. You ready? The website is called Toastmasters.org. This is a website that can help you. You can join a speaking group in the city in which you live or near the city in which you live. I think that you need to get a little bit more contact with native speakers. I recommend that you join a speaking group near you. Again, it's called Toastmasters.org, right? I'll spell it for you. TOASTMASTERS.org. O-R-G. Toastmasters.org is a international speaking organization that you can take a look at. And if you become a member of this group, every time you go to a meeting, you will need to complete a speech that will make you speak in front of the group, right? So that's something that you can consider. Now, and I don't know, this may or may not work out with you, but if you are religious, if you can find a church near you that speaks English, right? English, join the church. I'm not saying you have to become a 100% member of it, but if you go to a church, you'll typically get a lot of English on Saturdays, Sundays. They have a lot of social gatherings. And the most important thing for you is you're trying to find more opportunities so you can communicate with native speakers. So any way you can do that, whatever it might be, Toastmasters, church, you might volunteer at a certain what do you call these things, like thrift shops and things, or they have soup centers in certain cities where they feed the homeless. If you could volunteer somewhere, that would be great. Again, the purpose is to get more English, for you to practice more English. All right, let's keep going.
First time 82 and second time 83.
Okay.
So
you scored 82 and 83 in the TOEFL IBT exam.
second question is it is important for me to improve
Notice how not is important, but it is important. Important for me.
my speaking and pronunciation abilities, because I need to get an 100 above to get an admission in the DDS.
Okay, into the DDS. So you want to get into a full-fledged dental program so you can do that. So what you got to do right now, just think of the positive side of this thing. So as you increase your exposure to English, right, your speaking becomes better. Everything becomes better, for that matter, with your English, right? And once you complete your DDS program, what does that mean? That means you're going to be making some serious money here in the United States. A dentists typically make way over $100,000 a year. That's a great job. So just remember that. Look at what you're doing right now as a job. The payoff is that you reach your goal of becoming a dentist, and then you set up a practice here in the United States, and you do very well financially, right?
Oh, and I got less in speaking and writing, so I need to improve that.
I would say I got less. I would say I got lower scores in the speaking and the writing. That's how I would say that.
Both the section, and I hope that I could improve all the English, my English in all the direction, and not only in speaking and writing, but also in reading and listening,
Okay.
because I need to get an 100 above score.
Okay, we got it. Okay, so I got to talk to you here. So it isn't that I hope I can get the score. You're putting too much doubt into this. You will be able to reach your goal, Patel. You will. There is no doubt in my mind that you can do this. It's just a matter of working every day, studying every day. And for you, the most important thing right now is you have to look at what you've been doing over the last couple of years. You need to change your comfort zone. You need to do some different things. Remember some of my suggestions about maybe volunteering, joining Toastmasters, possibly even attending a church where you can get English. What you're trying to do is to get as much exposure to the language as you can. So I want you to take a note card. Maybe this is like a post-it here, right? So take a note card, and what I want you to do is write on there, put speaking 26 on that note card. Put it on your mirror, put it in your car in the dashboard. I want you to you need to see this card visually. So every day you want to remind yourself, okay, here's a question. What will you do today? Not tomorrow, not the next day. What will you do specifically today to improve your TOEFL speaking? Right? So what you're doing is, don't let a day go by. Don't let one day go by that you have not done something to improve your speaking. Right? And remember that part of your problem is not just your pronunciation, but you have problems with language use. You're having some problems with vocabulary and grammar. You need to solve all of these things, and it will take a lot of practice. All right? And I think that's it. So thank you, Patel, for completing the pretest in my online TOEFL course. Remember that as your TOEFL IBT speaking specialist, I am here to help you. Okay, so those are my comments to her. I'm done talking to her. And you guys over at YouTube, again, this is a live stream video I'm doing at YouTube. And I'm doing this to just let other people know that I have an online TOEFL course. You may or may not be interested in joining my course. That's okay. But you can also email your friends if you know anyone who might be interested in studying TOEFL online. If they want to improve their speaking, if they want to improve their writing, like this particular student, this student I just talked to, she needs to get a score of over 100. So my goal is to help her as her online TOEFL course teacher. I will help her to reach her goals. That's kind of what I will do. All right, let's keep going. I have a few more speaking practice tests I need to grade. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, now I'm going to go over to my email. Let's see what we have. All right, let's take a look at what we have. Okay, I'm going to go over there. I think I have at least 2 or 3 more practice tests I have to grade right now. Okay, so I have at least 2 more speaking practice tests I need to grade. Now, if you guys at YouTube, if you have any questions, if you're looking for, you want to know a little bit more about who I am and what I do, you can certainly post your questions in the chat. And I'm just looking at the chat right now. So Schofield says hi. And I will also say hi to you. All right, so let me go back to my email. And this is one of my students. It looks like this student is doing a TOEFL speaking practice test, an independent speaking task. Let's see what we have. I'm going to go ahead and download it and listen to it.
When I was young,
Okay, so let's take a look at what this specific question is for just a minute. All right, so let's see what we have. All right, so this student is, looks like the question, it's this one right here. So it's describe a place you visited as a child. What is your favorite memory while visiting this place? That's the question that he's answering. So let's see how he answered this question.
when I was young,
Now wait a minute, I need to also start my recording so I can talk to him directly. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Carol, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons. So you're completing, it looks like, independent speaking practice test number 1. So the question is 2 parts. Describe a place you visited, and then what is your favorite memory while visiting that place? That is the question of the day, right? So let's see how you answered this specific question.
when I was young, I visited Aswan. It's in Upper Egypt with my class, and our teacher gave us a good information this day.
Now, our teacher our teacher gave us information that day. Remember, when you're talking about past tense actions, you want to use past tense verbs, Carol. Right? So be careful. That's a language use issue.
Told us Aswan, there is modern Egypt and ancient Egypt. Modern Egypt, like high dam. This high dam give electricity to all the entire Egypt. And
now you're getting a little too technical here. Remember, you got 2 parts to this question. You're describing the place you visited, and then you're talking about a favorite memory while visiting this place. That's your purpose. And it isn't exactly clear that you're talking about that second part of the speaking task.
ancient Egypt, like museums, and he showed us a lot of information about pharaohs Egyptian. So I can't forget this day and this information also.
Okay, so I think you're talking about visiting a museum when you were younger, right? And then but what I'd recommend when you move to the second part of the question, you say, well, my favorite memory while visiting the museum is when I blah, 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 right? So you can maybe frame it that way. That's probably would be a good idea there. So let's listen to it one more time, and then I'm going to give you a score.
When I was young, I visited Aswan. It's in Upper Egypt with my class, and our teacher gave us a good information in this day. He told us, Aswan, there is modern Egypt and ancient Egypt. Modern Egypt, like high dam. This high dam give electricity to all the entire Egypt, and ancient Egypt like museums, and he show us a lot of information about pharaohs Egyptian. So I can't forget this day and this information also.
Okay. So now the next thing.
When I was young, I visited Aswan.
Give me a quick.
It's in Upper Egypt.
Okay, now I got to figure out what your score is here. So give me a quick second. Let me go over to the IBT rubrics here. Okay, so for yours, yeah, I think in the 4 range, 3 range, no, 2 range, you have a lot of problems with your delivery. So there's one thing I'd like you to work on with your delivery, Caro, is your intonation. So you can and make sure that you're writing down this information I'm giving you right now, by the way. And I recommend that you create what's called a speaking journal. And a speaking journal means as you're doing practice tests and as you're getting comments back from me, you want to take down notes in 3 areas. So I'm going to give you some information as it relates to delivery. You will get other information as it relates to language use. And finally, I will give you information as it relates to topic development. I might even, if you're paying attention, I'll probably even recommend certain lessons to help you get better. All right, so delivery, you have frequent pauses and hesitations, right? You need to work on that. That's something that's going to help you improve your fluency. So you can check out my pronunciation lessons 41 through 44 to address that problem. Overall, you have a lot of problems generally with pronunciation. Another area is your intonation. You can learn about intonation by going to pronunciation lessons 36 through 40. But to be honest with you, I would make it part of your daily study or even weekly study that you're studying all of the pronunciation lessons in my online course. And then you're practicing the voice recording exercises at the end of each of those lessons. I think that's going to be important for you. So let's go to the next one. Language use. I think language use, you're limited. You're limited with both vocabulary and also grammar. So in the vocabulary part of my course, Caro, I'd like you to take a look at vocabulary lesson number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. So really make an effort over the next 2 or 3 months to learn the vocabulary words in that part of my course, because as you improve your vocabulary, your overall English proficiency goes up. And also you need to work on grammar. You're not used to combining sentences and using adverb clauses and noun clauses and adjective clauses, so your grammar is a little bit basic. And notice sometimes in your response you're not even sure how to use the past tense to talk about actions completed in the past. So I think go over or begin, if you haven't done grammar or studied grammar, it's a good idea to study the grammar lessons in my course. And what you can do to make the most of your study is make sure that you're writing down some of the sample sentences that you're learning, and you're taking notes and writing down information. That's very important for your learning process. Right? So topic development. The problem here is you need to be more specific with the details that you're using, especially as you describe the place that you visited. And then as you talk about why it's your favorite memory, you want to restate that. You might say something like this: well, visiting this museum is my favorite memory because, and then you explain kind of what you were saying, but you show how that results in what's called your favorite memory. Your score here, I'm going to put you at about 1.5 out of 4, 11 points out of 30 on this particular practice test. All right, that's kind of where your score is right now. All right, anyway, thank you for completing this particular practice test. Remember that Rome was not built in a day. We have a saying in American culture, and improving your speaking doesn't happen in a day. It'll happen over several months, probably in your case. It'll take you some time, watch a lot of movies, make sure you're reading newspapers on a regular basis. Basically, you're spending a lot of time to get more exposure to the language. That's what you're trying to do, right? And in time, you will develop better fluency. And those are my comments to you. All right, so now I'm going to send Caro his comments for today. And you guys watching at YouTube, if anybody does, if you guys do want to join my online TOEFL course, remember that as I give comments, as I was telling him, make sure you're writing down the information. You're not just hearing me, but you're writing down the notes I'm giving you and the suggestions I'm giving you, and then you need to focus in those areas, and that will help you to improve your speaking. That's kind of how it works, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and send a message to this student, because he now needs to get my comments. Now, I think I have one more speaking practice test to grade today. You guys might be interested in hearing this one. Okay, I'm going back to my live dashboard at YouTube. I'm going to see if you guys have any questions or anything. So I apologize. I cannot sometimes answer your questions directly. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we have, it looks like a question from Mohammed. You say, hello, sir. I wish you a great day. Let me make a comment to you. Okay, so we have Zuhei. I know you. I know you exactly. Okay, so you say, I'm enrolled in the course. I found it very helpful. I'd like to have my essays corrected with detailed comments. Is there any option cheaper than the $50 per essay? Unfortunately, the answer is no. I apologize. Correcting essays is enormously time consuming. It can take me anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. I have to charge that extra money, or everybody will have me error correcting their essays, and I will never have any time for anything else. So remember that speaking, it's very easy for me to give comments on speaking. I can give comments in 3 or 4 or even 5 minutes, right? But writing, it's very time consuming. So Zuhei, I cannot offer the service cheaper than what I offer right now. I apologize for that. What you can do, some students will do this. The students make an investment. For example, you might have me error correct just one of your independent writing tasks, and then you have me error correct one of your integrated writing tasks. And in most cases, that's all students need. You don't need me to error correct every one of them. You want to get an assessment. You want to get an overall assessment of your writing, your independent writing and your integrated writing. And what I will do is I will take what you write, I will correct the whole essay, I will show you exactly what you need to do in order to get a perfect score, to get a score of 5.0 out of 5, right? And I will do that both with an independent and an integrated writing task. The cost is $50 for each, so it would be $100 total, right? So that's kind of how that works. Right? So I apologize for that. I cannot make it any cheaper than that. Think of it this way. Even if you're in an intensive English program, for example, you're studying at UCLA or USC, you're paying maybe $3,000 or $4,000 for the semester to study English, and guess what? even those professors will not error correct your entire essay. They just won't do it. So it's just something it's so time consuming. It's something that I have to put a fair price on that kind of a service because it takes so long to do that one. All right? And Giovanni Achata Flores from Peru, you say hello. And I say buenos dias to you too. Hope you're having a great day in Peru. And anyway, I'm going to go back. I have one more practice test I want to take a look at today. So let me see where I'm at. So you guys give me a quick second. Okay, I'm going to go over to speaking one more time. And I have one more you guys might be interested in hearing. Actually, you guys want to listen to this one, trust me. This student, her TOEFL score right now is 8.0. That puts her at about 110 points or higher on the TOEFL test if you look at it as an equivalent score. Right now, this particular student, she's working on her TOEIC exam, the test of English for international communication, and her speaking is so clear and it's so organized, and she's very, very specific in the kind of vocabulary and grammar that she's using. So this is a good example of if you want to score over 26 points or higher, I think on the speaking section of the test, this is the one. This is what you want to be able to do. So let's go ahead and listen to this practice test right now. You guys are going to like this one. I'm going to go ahead and give her some comments too. Okay, let's see what we have. Okay, let's keep going here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and download her practice test.
In my opinion.
Okay, here we go. Now, what I like about this one too, a lot of students will say, they say, hey, I can't really improve my intonation in my first language. Intonation is very monotone. It's very hard for me. But guess what? The student that we're going to listen to right now, her first language is Japanese, and Japanese is one of the monotone languages of the world. So if she can learn how to vary her intonation, then we all can do it. It is possible. It takes a great deal of practice to do it. Now, I got to tell you, she's been working on her speaking probably for 2 or 3 years. This is not something she developed quickly. She studied, she worked hard, she practiced, and now we see the benefits of her practice. All right, so let me go ahead and get a recording started for her. Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Comatop, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. So how are you doing today? And I'm going to listen to your TOEIC speaking that you posted for today. So your question is, do you agree or disagree with the following statement? The internet is a valuable educational tool. Right? So you're going to express your agreement or disagreement on that. And I'm going to look at your pronunciation, intonation, stress, grammar, vocabulary, cohesion, relevance of content, and completeness of content. I'm going to let you know if you have any problems in any of those areas. All right, so good luck. Here we go.
In my opinion, I think that the internet can be a great resource for information in the...
Now, if you say, in my opinion, I think, it's not really needed. So you can just say, well, the internet is a great resource. Just say it like that. You don't need to use all those unnecessary words in there. And then you can spend more time on the examples that you're giving.
in the realm of education. Firstly, the advent of the internet allows us to engage with learning materials without being in regular face-to-face contact with a teacher in the classroom.
All right. Very good. Good start. I like that realm, in the realm of. Very good vocabulary word there. Your grammar is nice. You're using both basic and advanced grammar.
The so-called distance learning is a good case in point. Actually, I'm currently
Wow, distance learning is a good case in point. So you're using distance learning as an example to illustrate your point.
enrolled in a TESOL master's degree program
Okay.
provided by a university in the UK as a remote student, which enables me to study from my home in Japan.
Okay.
If I didn't have access to the internet, I wouldn't be able to learn the latest theories behind teaching methods in the UK while working full-time in Japan.
Now, I would say I would say if I hadn't had access, right, I would not have been able to. But the question is, are you talking about a present possible or a past impossible situation? So let me double check one more time. I'm just trying to help you with your grammar here. Give me a quick second.
Learning is a good case in point. Actually, I'm currently enrolled in the TESOL master's degree program.
Okay, no, I think that you're using it correctly. So you're saying currently, so you're talking more about a present possible situation.
Provided by a university in the UK as a remote student, which enables me to study from my home in Japan.
So as a remote student, I would say as a remote distance learning student, or as a distance learning student maybe is better.
If I didn't have access to the internet, I wouldn't be able to learn the latest.
Wow, no, you are perfect on that. So you're using the simple past to talk about a present impossible situation. So if you didn't have, you wouldn't be. So your language use is incredible. So very good grammar on that. So basically use a simple past when you're talking about present possible situations. And if you were talking about a past impossible situation, you would have used, right, the past perfect tense. So your grammar is very good.
Theories behind teaching methods in the UK while working full-time in Japan. Secondly, many electronic resources are available anywhere 24/7 thanks to the internet.
Okay.
The online digital library called eBrary allows
So the online distance library called eBrary. Wow, good example.
us to read electronic books whenever we want, which is more convenient than regular library.
More convenient. I like how you did that. So on that stressed syllable, you're not just making the syllable clearer, louder, and longer, but you're making it higher pitched. And that's part of the key to your natural sounding intonation. So very good on that.
That closes at 5 p.m. or so. In summary, the internet gives us a chance to study from home at our own pace without thinking about opening hours and holiday schedules, which is why
Without thinking about opening hours, hold on a minute, I need to check
the
something.
internet gives us a chance to study from home at our own pace without thinking about opening hours and holiday schedules, which is why I think the internet
Opening hours and something schedules. I'm not exactly sure what you're saying there.
without thinking about opening hours and holiday schedules, which is
And holding schedules, maybe? Is that what you're saying?
why I think the internet is a valuable educational tool.
So it's a valuable educational tool there. All right, so wow. Wow. That was a great one. On this one, I think very good with your pronunciation. You might have had one or two minor issues. Your intonation and stress, very, very strong. Great vocabulary. Cohesion. I like how you tie your ideas together by the use of transition words, right? And the examples that you give, they are appropriate. They're relevant to supporting the argument you're trying to make, and you were complete, I think, in how you answered this question. So very good with your speaking for today, and thank you for completing this particular practice test. All right? And now I am going to send her my comments. Yeah, a lot of students, and I'm now talking to YouTubers directly, so a lot of students, they say, well, Michael, okay, what do I need to do? How do I need to sound? in order to get 26 points or higher on TOEFL speaking. And that's it. This is your example. So if you can speak like Comatop, if you have this kind of speaking abilities, you will do very well. Right? Think about it for a minute. Okay, let me send her a quick message. I will recap a few things here. So we have think about it. So in speaking, as you guys are looking at this one, it is a little bit more complicated than you think because you have to look at what you just heard, right? Compare. You remember the speaking before, the one, his name was Caro, and then you heard the one whose name is Comatop, and you have to ask yourself, why would Comatop get a score of 26, and then why is the other student maybe getting a score between maybe 11 or 15 points out of 30, right? What is the difference? So with speaking, it's a combination. For TOEFL speaking, it's not just any one thing, but with delivery, the student has to be very comfortable speaking English. Not too many pauses, not a lot of hesitations. The person uses a natural sounding tone, right? That's important, right? And there's no intelligibility issues, which means I can understand everything that the person is saying. Now, if we look at language use, again, when you listen to Comatop, you can go through this video a few times. Be very good practice for you, by the way. So when you listen to her practice test, she has very good control of her grammar and her vocabulary. And she's very specific in the vocabulary that she uses. And that's a good thing, right? And that helps her to score higher. Okay, so the other thing is, if you look at her topic development, she does certain things that really make it organized. So she uses transition words like case in point or furthermore, for example. So it's very easy for her to help, how do I say this? It helps her improve, I think, her organization, her development by the way she's organizing, I think, her response. That's kind of what you're trying to do. All right, so I'm going to make a few more comments here. We have some comments here. It says, the course is amazing. Congratulations. I've been trying a lot of options, Kaplan and Magoosh, but these is very detailed course and helped me to improve. I can feel the difference after 20 days of practicing. Hopefully I will see these improvements in my TOEFL score. And you will. For sure you will. That's the main thing. When I created my online TOEFL course, Zuhei, I wanted to have a place where students could practice, but that's not the big thing. The most important thing I wanted to do is I wanted students to have a space in which they could complete pronunciation, speaking, and writing practice. And they could actually get some feedback, right? They could get some scores back. And I get better feedback, let's face it, on the speaking than I do the writing. And I do give great feedback on the writing, but as I said, I have to charge a little extra for that service because it's so time consuming. But there's another question. I think Giovanni Achata says, recently I was rejected to get a non-immigrant visa in Peru. Do you think that the recently elected president has influenced this process? I'm going to say I don't know, honestly. My expertise, it's not in visas and students' immigration procedures and all of that. And I cannot really give you an answer based on statistics because I don't have any access to that kind of data. But really the question is it becoming easier or more difficult for students to get visas to study here in the United States or to come here to the U.S.? I would say, based on the President Trump's most recent executive order, the one that he did, I think, where he's restricting students' restricting anybody, not students, but restricting any kind of people coming from certain countries like Syria, maybe Iraq, maybe Iran, or whatever. Obviously, that's going to make it more difficult for people coming from those areas. But from Peru, I have no idea. I cannot really answer that question. All right, so I apologize for that. But anyway, I think I am done. Let me double check. I want to see if I have any more speaking practice that I have to grade. I think we're okay there. Okay, let me see. Zuhei, you just sent me an email. Wow. Okay, you say, do you have to send... I wasn't able to hear this audio on my computer. There's no way to run it. I've tried a lot of different options. So let's take a look at this. So speak clearly, lesson number 4. So I want to talk directly to Zuhei. Let's see if we can solve these problems. Let me go over to my website and let's see what this is. Speaking lesson number 4, am I right? Let's take a look at this one. Let's see what we're talking about. I'm going to see if I can help you solve this problem right now online. So you're talking about pronunciation. You're talking about practice exercises for lessons number 4.
Practice exercise 1, consonant sounds. Go back to the chart and practice pronouncing the consonant sound.
Okay, this is lesson number 4, practice exercises for consonant sounds of American English. So I believe in order to download this particular video, Zuhei Gonzalez, you will need QuickTime, right? So let me send you a couple of links right now. Give me a quick second here. Yeah, you need several things you want to make sure that you have. So I'm going to respond to your email right now. Give me a quick second. Okay, here we go. So I will put to view this particular lesson, take a look at the below. Now I'm going to say to view this particular lesson you will need to use QuickTime. You need to use QuickTime on your computer. Right? Let me send you a quick message to that. That's what that particular lesson is all about. Alright? So I'm going to say hello there to Carlos. Hi Giovanni. Hi Zuhei. Thank you for your kind words. Hi there Giovanni. And hi there Mohammed. Hope you guys are doing okay. Today, I think I'm pretty much done with what I need to do. So I appreciate everybody watching right now. If you want to learn more about my online TOEFL course, you can go to onlinetoeflcourse.com and you can see and learn a little bit more about how my course will help you guys improve your academic English language abilities. And ultimately, it will help you to improve your TOEFL score. That's how I design my course. And remember that one of the things I can do, you can't do this in Magoosh, you can't do this with the TOEFL IBT online course. You can actually complete speaking, pronunciation, and writing practice tests, and you will get feedback from me in about 24 hours. So it is possible to do these things in my online course, all right? So bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for watching my live stream video. And remember, check back on a day-to-day basis. I go live almost every day. So if you have any more questions, and you can also email me if you need to, or you can make a comment directly below this video. And I will certainly help you with whatever questions you have. Okay?